she not just the most fantastic singer?
Courtesy, hero after zero. Guess my preference might be Hercules. Lift me up, I need a...
Oh, I love that section. Kia ora and welcome. My name is Oishibi and I'm your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at Alessia Cara with her giant desk concert. I don't know about you, but Alessia Cara has been an artist that I have grown up listening to, and all of my students over the years have eventually found one, if not multiple, of Alessia's songs. She is such an incredible musician and vocalist, and we're here to have a look at what is she up to with her vocal technique. How is she creating these sounds and how can you create them? So if you want to learn more about how to improve your voice, then hit that subscribe button so that we can geek out about vocal technique. I got no idea what the first song is. I can't find it in the comments or anything like that. So I'm assuming it's maybe I'm in Trouble. Haven't heard the song before, don't think. Let's look at it. Alessia Cara.
So I decided to make my own. Tiny desk. My desk is bigger than yours. Here we go. This is called Middle Ground.
1, 2, 3.
I don't like boys, but I do. I just hate it when they make me cry. I got barbed wire around my house, but if someone would trade it for a picket fence, I wouldn't mind. Don't come near me, yeah, but don't leave me alone. I got my dog and she's enough, but it'd be nice to hear a voice that's not my own. And
Is she not just the most fantastic singer? And I just want to point out that Alessia Cara is an award-winning artist if you don't already know who she is. And she's been an artist since she was like 16 years old and burst onto the scene. And for an artist of her level and caliber to be denied a Tiny Desk concert, I just want you to remember that we all get rejected and put down and don't get the job at some point, no matter how big we get. So let's just have a little look at that first bit again and break it down a little bit more.
my desk is bigger than yours. Here we go. This is called Middle Ground.
1, 2, 3.
I don't like boys, but I do. I just hate it when they make me cry. I got barbed wire around my house, but if someone would trade it for a picket fence, I wouldn't mind. Don't come near me, yeah, but don't leave me alone. I got my dog and she's enough, but it'd be nice to hear a voice that's not my own. And I could use a hug.
Oh, I just have to clap that again because she's just such a fabulous singer. I love her tone and this warmth and like the lyrics. I got power around my house. So we've got a thicker vocal fold contact there. Now, the way in which she's bringing in a little bit of that crackle, a little bit of that kind of rasp into the sound, we never actually know exactly what's causing it. But the way I would train a singer to do it would be to use a bit of slack vocal fold with very, very low volume. The microphone that she's using is specifically used for very close up singing, and it's going to be blocking out the surrounding sounds because it's quite difficult when you're singing with other musicians so close to you that the microphone doesn't pick them up. It will a little bit, but she's singing really, really close to that microphone, which means I got a house, I got power around my house. So she's very, very low volume using that slack sound.
Nice to hear a voice that's not my own. And I could use a hug sometimes, a little bit of love sometimes. My bed's a little cold on the left side, but it's warm enough sometimes. I don't know what I want. Would I be better off alone or with
my God, I love it. Let's just watch that again. So I don't know what I want. So thicker vocal fold, chest voice there. But Alessia is allowing the vocal folds to open and close to color the sound. I don't know what I want. And she's using those aspirate offsets to color the sound. This is what we want to aim to achieve once we get really, really good at managing opening and closing the vocal folds.
Sometimes I don't know what I want. Would I be better off alone or with someone driving me crazy, crazy? I don't know what I want, to give in or give up.
Yeah, and you can hear to give and not give up. So there's that constriction coming in there, that sound. And again, I'm not making fun of Alessia, but it's just the way it sounds in my voice. And the way I would coach someone to make that sound would be to think about a little bit of a whiny sound where the throat goes a little bit close. And I know what I want. Because ultimately we're reaching these types of sounds through an emotional place to begin with. And then once we can create those sounds, that's when we start to go into what's actually going on in the voice. How can I train this? How would I then put that onto a scale? Managing how we would then train that into other songs and not just sort of imagining ourselves as being slightly constipated when we're singing that. And that's exactly why in my singing lessons, I make sure that you know what's going on with your voice and how you are supposed to train it. So if that's what you're looking for, then you can apply it down the description below.
I want to give in or give up. This middle ground I'm on is driving me crazy, crazy. I'm not lonely, but I am. But catching feelings makes me sick. I don't need a man and all that jazz. But come to think of butterflies and starry eyes, I don't remember hating it. I'm wary, yeah. But I wanna jump in, falling into something's wonderful, till someone pulls the rug from under it, and I could use a hug. Sometimes a little bit of love.
Okay, so with a sound like Alessia's, we're wanting to make sure, and again, I'm not her, I say again, but I haven't said it yet, Zoe. I'm not her vocal coach, so I don't know what her sound is like with vocal exercises, but we would want to be training a clean sound and an affected sound. Now, a clean sound in singing, and I say that as clean sound because it could be, say, and we could also call it an unaffected voice or without slack vocal folds, or a clear sound, whatever we're sort of like looking for. But essentially the sound without that slight rasp or crackle in it, we would be making sure that the voice is always able to go back to that position, because that way we can monitor the health of the voice. We always want to be able to sing with effects and without, and not just all the time only with, because otherwise we're not really sure what our baseline is. Let's just go back on this because she's introducing a lot more of that slack.
Jumping, falling into something's wonderful, till someone pulls the rug from under it, and I could use a hug. Sometimes a little bit of love. Sometimes my bed's a little cold on the left side, but it's warm enough. Sometimes I don't know what I want. Would I be better off?
So you can hear when she's doing sometimes, or whatever the riff is there, you can hear that there is less breath in the sound. And that tends to be when we're making faster vocal fold movements, we're removing some of that breath because it's quite cumbersome with the vocal folds open. They don't move quite as freely. Likewise, there's less pressure in the voice when we're moving faster, because again, more pressure means that the vocal folds are going to be moving slower.
Would I be better off alone or with someone driving me crazy, crazy? I don't know what I want, to give in or give up. This middle ground I'm on is
Actually, that goes up to a C5, which would be relatively high within the female chest voice register. You can hear she's adding some AES narrowing or a little bit of twang in it. And what I want with a little E going in there in order to allow the vocal folds to thin in order to go high. Let's just listen to that again.
Don't know what I want to give in or give up. This middle ground I'm on.
So this middle ground I'm on, that's that middle ground, that's that AES narrowing or a little bit of twang. So AES narrowing is essentially we are narrowing the area above the vocal folds in order to create that sound. That not only helps the vocal folds to thin out, but it also assists with, basically we're putting something in the way of the airflow. So it makes it a little bit easier to close the vocal folds. This is what a lot of vocal techniques like to teach. For example, speech level singing will ask you to introduce quite a great deal of twang into the sound. In my opinion, that kind of creates quite a samey kind of sound, and you lose a lot of the depth that's going on within the upper register. But it is a really great place to start, especially with learning where that passaggio is. But ultimately we don't always want to have to add in that degree of twang if we're wanting to go higher with a slightly weightier sound, because I know that Alessia doesn't do that all the time because I'm a big fan and I know her voice quite well.
Give up. This middle ground I'm on is driving me crazy. I'd like to think that there's somebody crafted perfectly to see me at my best and still feel blessed to love the worst of me. Kiss away the hurt from me, address me with some courtesy. Hero after zero, guess my preference might be Hercules. Lift me up, I need to pick me up. I am moving backwards, baby, my exes hit me up. I ain't shooting shots, but I can dribble. Daydream just a little. If that love is really meant for me, you'll meet me in the middle. I don't like boys, but I do. I just
Oh, I love that section. Wow, we are going to have another little look at that. I love the rhyme and the way that she is using the patter of the words in order to create the emotions that are coming across. You'll notice in really good songwriting that is often there, because a good songwriter will write the right lyrics to suit the particular rhythm, and that's going to help us in our delivery in terms of the acting of the song. And she's doing most of the job for you with great lyrics and great melody.
To see me at my best and still feel blessed to love the worst of me. Kiss away the hurt from me, address me with some courtesy. Hero after zero, guess my preference might be Hercules. Lift me up, I need to pick me up. I am moving backwards, baby, my exes hit me up. I ain't shooting shots, but I can dribble. Daydream just a little. If that love is really meant for me, you'll meet me in the middle. I don't like boys, but I do. I just hate it when they make me cry.
Okay, Alessia has this make me cry. This is I sound completely different to Alessia when I'm singing. Okay, so I appreciate that I'm not making her sound. I actually don't want to sound like her, but I'm trying to understand what's going on in my voice so that I can help you to understand what's going on in hers a little bit more. So when we've got this introduced, make me cry, when we allow a little bit of those slack vocal folds to come in, essentially slack vocal folds is the slowest movement of the vocal folds. We're really taking out the pitch. Cry, but it's like really fleeting that we're allowing those vocal fold movements to stop for that. Now we can on particular pitches as well. We're essentially taking the tension out of the vocal folds and allowing them to kind of flap a little bit loosely, within the throat, within the larynx.
Pick me up, I am moving backwards, baby, my exes hit me up. I ain't shooting shots, but I can dribble. Daydream just a little. If that love is really meant for me, you'll meet me in the middle. I don't like boys, but I do. I just hate it when they make me cry. I got barbed wire around my house, but if someone would trade it for a picket fence, I wouldn't mind. I don't know what I want.
I think that's the C3, which is the C below middle C. Now, why on earth does it matter which note that is? I like to tell my students to say, hey, just take note of like where all these different things are within your voice. So firstly, you can track it a lot better with your progress. But also when you are speaking to other musicians, you can say, okay, well, my favorite key, I like to sing in, for example, myself, I like to sing in G major. It just sits really, really well within my voice. And so you can then know when you're going to jam sessions, and it just helps you to kind of understand the music a little bit better. But it has nothing to do with the C3. I don't know where I went with that. So the C3 down there, need to make sure that the larynx is going low enough in order for her to create that sound. But you also hear the darkening going, oh, traded for a picket fence, I wouldn't mind. She's taking that larynx very, very low. That's hard for me to take because my voice is very tired.
Around my house, but if someone would trade it for a picket fence, I wouldn't mind. I don't know what I want. Would I be better off alone or with someone driving me crazy, crazy? I don't know what I want, to give in or give up. This middle ground I'm on is driving me crazy.
Love that she's not just like starting to just belt the shit out of this, like, this middle ground I want. And in this style of singing, we don't actually want to get like super loud. It's sort of like a little bit jazzy, like slow, a little bit of R&B mixed in there. This middle ground I want. So she's got that twang coming in there, but that twang is assisting her with the volume increase. So twang will boost the higher frequencies within the voice, and so it makes us hear the sound much louder. But that is also assisted by that extra vocal fold closure.
Middle ground I'm on is driving me crazy, crazy, yeah. Driving me crazy, driving me crazy.
I love that. So this is falsetto, driving me crazy. And that's falsetto where the vocal folds actually go stiff. The arytenoids rock back and the vocal folds become stiff. They're very fleeting and they're touching here at the front. Here at the front. they basically insert, it's like a little, actually, probably that's not even funny to you, but it's fucking funny to me. Anyway, so the thyroid cartilage here is where, which is the Adam's apple, is where the vocal folds actually insert into. So they can't open at the front. They open and close from the back, from the arytenoids, okay? And so they can't separate fully from the front. So that's just the very tip of the vocal folds is touching, or not tip of the vocal folds, the very like beginning of the vocal folds are this middle ground is driving me crazy. That's that stiff. You can hear that hooty nature in the sound, and she's shoving a whole bunch of air through it, but using the twang in order to hold back the breath flow. It's this really beautiful falsetto, driving me crazy. It sounds kind of like agitated and loud for a falsetto voice quality.
Driving me crazy, crazy. Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
I absolutely love it. What a beautiful, beautiful performance. I just wanted to point out, if we look here at the still of the Giant Desk concert, you can see that the background vocalists have got an SM58 microphone. How do I know that? Because, well, it's the bog standard, not bog standard, it is the industry standard microphone. I've also got one behind me. And I can tell that it's the SM58 because it doesn't have the blue band around it. So the beta version of the SM58 has a little blue band around it. What's the difference? Well, it's to do with the difference in which microphone suits your voice best. But if you are looking for a microphone and you're like, I've got no idea what I should fucking buy an SM58. Okay, they are relatively low cost. You can pick them up on eBay for, actually, I think they're like $40 or something like that secondhand. They are pretty much unbreakable. Okay. I've seen them in every single school I've ever worked at, every single gig, karaoke gig, whatever. You could throw it against the wall and that thing will not break. And also they create a really excellent sound and they're literally just plug in and play. So if you're looking for a microphone and you're a singer, I do highly recommend that if you are a contemporary singer that you do work with a microphone and a PA system so that you can hear yourself better while you're practicing with your microphone technique. But the SM58 is an excellent option. So I have a link in the description below actually for the SM58. Wow, Alessia, I'm so excited. You know what? I made the decision now. I'm just going to have a look at the rest of the Giant Desk concert. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of Alessia's videos. And if you want to learn more about vocal technique, I have a free Find Your Chest Voice challenge so that you can work on exactly these techniques that Alessia is using in this performance with getting that better vocal fold closure lower down in the range. You can pick it up in the description below. Have an awesome rest today. Happy singing! Oh, have we looked at Alessia before? We have. I'll put it up here so you can keep on learning. Happy singing. Have an awesome rest today. Ka kite anō.